Hey everybody, Dave Isaacs here with the next installment in the Riffin series, and I decided I wanted to change things up a little bit today, so I went to the acoustic guitar. But I do want to continue on with the triadic concepts that we were playing with in the last video. Now, all those triads were major. From your big bar chords, you probably already know that a switch from a major to a minor chord is a very simple thing. In this case, it's just lifting a finger. And what we're doing is we're taking note 3 of the sequence, 1, 2, 3. If you remember from our discussion of intervals, major third, lower that note to a minor third, or we might say a flat 3. And now we get this. So even though it's certainly easiest to think of it as just lifting a finger, you want to be aware that what we've really done is flat the third. Same thing goes for the transition from, say, D major to D minor. Even though the fingers have to rearrange some, all that's really changed is the third of the scale, note 3 of the sequence, is lowered by a half step to a flat third, so that now we have this. And just like with the major forms that we've talked about previously, all we really have to do is trim down the shape. So instead of 6 notes, maybe we just get these 3. This is an A minor played with one finger on fret 5, strings 1, 2, and 3. I can add the ring finger on fret 7 of the D string, and I have a 3-note form here, the other 3-note form here, a 4-note form here, which is just doubling the root. And this one works beautifully with our major version. Now, probably also remember this one. In this case, this is a G chord, starting from the D string, fret 9, G string, fret 7, and B string, fret 8. Remember the root that it comes from is here under the pinky. Well, it should be pretty easy to hear our triad of root and third and fifth plus the octave, so we can just lower the third now. That's a perfectly good 4-note form. I find it a little bit awkward myself, but it's certainly usable. It's the same notes as this one, just a little bit warmer because you're on lower strings and higher up the neck. But the 3-note version of that is something that's very, very useful and may not be as familiar to you. So now if we take into account the 3 main major chord bars and then just lower the third of each one, and we're dealing with the upper 4 strings of the guitar, we have this one, or plus, we have this one, which is this plus this, and then we have this one, which is this, again starting from the 4th string, 8, 7, 8, gives us the G minor, and then the index finger on top doubles the third. So again, depending on what note you want to emphasize, that one, or if I jump up, those were all G minors. Here's going through the entire sequence. Frets 5 and 3. Now I invert it and I get frets 6, 7, and 8. Still G minor. And then I invert it again and I get frets 10, 11, 12. Now when we start mixing these in different combinations of 3 and 4 string forms with the majors, we get all kinds of nice possibilities. That was the key of G, and again, just illustrating the use of this form, sometimes broken down into just 2 strings. Remember, 2 notes doesn't make a triad, but it implies one, so we still hear C minor, even though I'm not playing the complete chord. Or, again, up here, the G minor, and F on frets 7, 5, and 6, and E flat on frets 5, 3, and 4. And remember, with this form, just in the same way that we can relate, say for example, this C minor to this C bass, or this G minor to this G bass, we can relate this F major to this F bass, or this G minor to this G bass, or even this G minor, which looks very much like a D minor form because it really is the same shape, just moved up. D minor, E minor, F minor, G minor. And if we think of it that way, we've also got a 4th string bass note we can work off of, which gives us some nice possibilities to play with as well. I'll try this in another key. I'm going to go to the key of C minor. Same idea, this last chord, all I did was invert, sort of in reverse. I took this, which was the C minor, again coming off this form, and put the E flat on the bottom. Notice that perfect 4th that forms the guts of the chord, if you will. We can add the E flat on either side. It's still C minor. And we can apply that concept to major chords as well. That's like taking this B flat, fret 3, fret 3, fret 3, and taking that 3rd, putting it an octave lower, and now we get this. Opens up all kinds of nice hammer-on and scalar possibilities. With just a handful of basic building blocks, the possibilities are practically endless. And keep in mind that in playing real music, you're going to use all different kinds of forms up and down the neck. 2 notes, 3 notes, 4 notes, intervals, triads, scales, hammer-on licks. All of this comes together to create interesting music. when we're studying this stuff, it's very helpful to break it down into these tiny little bite-sized pieces because it's just easier to process. It's easier to learn one little idea at a time. But in real music, in practice, we don't want to limit ourselves so much unless we consciously say, I like the sound of triads descending on the same 3 strings, so I'm going to do this. But that's a specific decision. And in terms of your exploration, which is really all I'm doing when I give these examples, I'm improvising as I go, but staying within the parameters of illustrating a certain kind of idea. That's all you're really going to do. And you can take that, and depending on how organized you want to be, you can take a single idea and explore the possibilities inherent in it. Or once you've absorbed the basic shapes, just go to town with it. Put things together in all different ways. Take stuff you know well, add in these new things that you may not know as well, and see where it takes you. So I hope you have fun with it. I hope you found this video useful. I'm Dave Isaacs for TrueFire.com. Thanks for watching.